Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pyramid Book Club discussion live show. We are meeting today to talk about Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. And we actually all have it to show, at least. It doesn't usually happen. So let us know you're here in the comments, and we're going to start off with some spoiler-free stuff. Actually, I think we should start probably with announcing stuff for next month before we forget, because we usually remember halfway through. So for next month, so this is August, for September, we will be reading Lexi's.
Wait, I have it.
Right here.
I have it.
We'll be reading Ascension by Nicholas Binge. And we will be joined by Amy from Amy Noel Reads as our guest host for the month. So she's going to be with us to do sprints and live show. So we're super excited for that. Everything's going to be on Lexi's channel, I believe, for both of those events. So make sure to get your hands on a copy somehow of that book. I have to figure out where I'm going to read it from.
Do you still have a link or a code or something? Is it?
Yeah, it's my last month for the code. This Ascension is available on Aardvark Bookbox. If you use my code Michelle's Library, you get your first book for $4 and free shipping. So if you want to do that, I also get money. So but for real, it's my last month. They give you like a 3-month thing with them.
I told you, I'm always like, link.
I forgot it was on Aardvark because I didn't get it.
If you send me the link, I can put it in the description, so that people
can
remember.
Long link. Give me 1 second. Yeah,
it is.
And for convenience, I will add it in, and then it'll be there so people can see it.
Give me a second.
So that's exciting. Anything else? Is there anything else you guys want to mention before we jump in?
I don't think so.
Okay. So we'll start off with non-spoilers, and we'll do some ratings. Are you guys gonna make me go first on my own video?
Up to you. You can do whatever you want on your channel. So
I mean, I'm giving it 5 stars. So anybody else want to share?
No.
I'm giving it 3 stars.
Okay.
I think as of finishing it 30 minutes ago, I think I'm gonna go with 4.
Okay.
But like not like any higher than 4. It's not like in between.
Okay. Nice. Hi, Carly.
Did you read it? I tagged you in Discord and you didn't respond to me. And
Nobody answered.
I know. Holy crap.
I told you.
I knew it was long, but seeing it again.
Hello. Full disclosure, I was not able to read it this month, but I'm here for the community. That's okay. We'll try to keep some spoiler-free comments for the beginning, and then we'll warn you before
it's
we get
49, not 55.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? But
I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be 55.
I would like to talk about everyone's relationship with Darcy Coates. Like, we personally are best friends. No, I'm just kidding. They're
the one time that you met her.
Yeah. Actually, it was twice. We got in line twice.
That's true.
So, I'm just curious, like, for everybody in the comments too, how many books you've read, and also like ranking.
True.
I don't know how many books I've read.
Okay. This is my 4th Darcy Coates, and this is my least favorite Darcy Coates. Like, I struggled for real getting through this one. Also, I fell asleep twice reading this book.
Wow.
Not good. And like I know it's a take on And Then They Were None, which is completely fine. But I was talking about this in my Discord, and I know that Deb was there, and I just felt like it was very repetitive. And I was over it. This is my least favorite Coates. I mean, but I'll keep reading her. But like, yeah, this is my least favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 stars is still like you didn't hate it. So
I didn't hate it, but like I absolutely did not like it. Like I loved her other ones, you know.
Yeah.
This is my 9th, I believe.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm also currently reading the sequel to Voices in the Snow. So 9 and 5% of another.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say this is closer to the bottom. It is not my least favorite. Her other one that I read that is a thriller is my least favorite, I think.
I love it, and I love that one.
Haunted?
Oh, Haunted? Oh, I thought you were talking about whatever that one was called.
I don't know. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about one. It's called Hunted. It's like a woods thriller. That's my least favorite. But yeah, this is probably, it's in the bottom third.
Gotcha. This is my 3rd Darcy book, and I've given 4 and 5 stars to all 3 of them. This is not my favorite. I think off of vibes, I gave it 5, and there were parts like 4.5 to 5 that like things that I was like, oh, that's annoying, but it didn't ruin it like anything for me. But the Carol Haunt is still my favorite of the 3.
I told you. I was like,
Lexi is that can be Lexi's high horse for like predicting that I would love that book, and I absolutely did. But yeah, let's see what you guys. So deciding between 3.5 and 4, and you did read it. Excellent. Perfect. You can stay the whole time, and as long as you don't mind, because there's some things to spoil. Forgot until last night. Amazing. Good job, Siri, for reading it. Finished about an hour ago. Gave it 3 stars. 4 stars. Carol Haunt, same. 4 stars. The first Darcy Coates, still halfway through from Berlin. You can do it. I have not read that one, but I have it on my shelf. I have a progressive, like I have a whole bunch of Darcy books because I bought a million of them for her to sign. And then I'm like slowly like pacing myself. So I don't want to read all of them at once and then have nothing else to read. So I'm kind of like pacing.
Well, good for you. She has like 20 books. So
right. I have plenty of things to work through. This is my 3rd book and was my favorite. Awesome. I also read The Hunting of Ashburn and Haunting of Lee Harker. Okay. Rated them both the same, around 3.5. Nice. I'm glad this is your favorite one. That's exciting. Read quite a few. Wasn't a favorite, but far from the worst. Far from the worst.
There's one that like nobody likes.
Yeah.
Some of her backlists are rough. Oh boy. I didn't read this one, but I've read 3. Carol Haunt was fave. Voices in the Snow. Didn't like Hunting of Lee Harker. Okay.
I think
have Voices
Rookwood House, Rookwood Manor. I don't want to confuse it with the smut book accidentally.
Oh, wait, that would be so funny.
No, but there's one that's called like The Lady of Rook's Grave Manor or something like that. And that is a smutty book.
Did you accidentally read that instead?
No, I don't want to say the wrong title and have people look up.
That would be so funny.
Imagine Lexi starting a book thinking it's Darcy Coates and oh geez.
Yeah, so I think that one is universally hated.
Gotcha. It reminded me of a bunch of other books, different other books I've read. It did feel very similar, especially because I just read One by One by Ruth Ware like a month and a half ago.
I felt
and
that
like it is a different like setting, but the vibes were very similar. which I liked
liked
both.
that one.
So
I liked the other one more.
I liked
which
One
is
by
not
One more.
popular.
Yeah, I liked it way more than this one. I don't know. I don't know. But like I felt like every chapter doesn't have to end on a cliffhanger. Do you know what I mean? Like it was starting to annoy me, to be honest. I was like, I'm gonna have to read this.
That's her like signature thing.
No. But it like really started to annoy me. I'm like, I have to read this book. I'm gonna keep reading it, Darcy. Like it's totally okay. Like
yeah, you don't have to like drag me into the next chapter. Like I'm gonna.
And that's not like a Darcy Coates thing. That's like any kind of book thing.
Yeah.
Like I read a romance recently where it's like the same formula, and I was like, I truly cannot deal with it. I didn't like that one either.
I think my thing is it works better for me in spooky situations than scary situations.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because there's more unknown in general. So like having it be like a cliffhanger kind of thing. You're like, well, yeah, every minute that they're there, if it's like a haunted house or something, like every minute that they're there is gonna be like
it's gonna be more like not random, but like different things are going to happen. In this, it was always the same exact thing. So like the cliffhanger like didn't really mean much because there was no suspense. Like you knew the thing that was going to happen was
right. I think that was my issue. And like normally, I don't know. Like I liked all her cliffhangers in her other books that I've read. Like Love Them If Voices in the Snow is probably my favorite by hers, and I thought that they were really, really well done. But this one, I was just like, I don't know, man. I just kept falling asleep.
I think this book for me could have been improved if there was a question of if it was like a spooky thing.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing felt very much like there's a person out to get us. We're stranded. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
So I think if there was a possible like creature or ghost or something that you like weren't sure what was like going to be the thing, then that's how it would have improved for me.
I was honestly waiting for that twist. I was like, okay, maybe it will be a creature or an alien or something, and then that would be. I think that would have improved it for me, honestly.
This book, did she say that at one point? Like, I feel like there was like a line, and maybe I'm getting it mixed up with another book, where she was like, what if it's not one of us? What if it's an alien or something? That might be another book that I'm thinking of.
I think was this one.
I think it was as well. And I was like,
that was a thought process.
Yeah.
Loved From Below.
I have to read that one.
See, there's inspiration.
That's in one of my top few.
I am petrified because me and water.
See, I don't really like water either, but I think like that's fine because I'm never gonna go in water ever again. So
So it's
like Monica, it's even pools. It's not the ocean.
I'm the same way. Like we go to the pool every weekend and I just am a miserable human being.
Me, and if it's water that I can be submerged under,
I feel the same way. Yeah. I stay on the little edge with you. And I'm like,
yes.
Like
reading it might not be too bad because like it's not happening to me, but like we'll see.
Yeah, I gotta read From Below for sure.
Hi Sherry, you're not that late. We've just gotten started.
We honestly haven't really been talking that long.
Disagree. Give me the cliffhangers. I think it depends on the book. Like some books, that's really helpful and like it does keep it moving. And other books, it's like it's moving without the cliffhangers. It just depends for me. This one I wasn't too bothered by it, but I did catch on to that, like it kept happening.
I wasn't bothered by it in this one, but I don't think it was necessary in this one.
Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't like it, because I was just like, okay, good, Darcy, I get it. Like, personally, I don't know, I just didn't like it in this one.
Her titles are too similar to keep.
Yes. How many countries of whatever does she have? Like, it's too many. It's so many.
How dare you be late?
Yes, Sherry.
From Below is really good. I'm just reading nothing right now. feel that. Well, I don't because I'm reading more things than I need to right now, but been there, and I hope that you get through it. And like, it's hard because when you take too long to read a book, whether it's because it's like hard to get through or just in a slump, it's like, how do you make sure that that doesn't impact like your actual like opinion on the book? Because like the book itself could be really good, you just can't read, or it could be like the book is just not enough to like keep you going. I specifically read it because I'm terrified of scuba diving. Hilarious. I gave it 4 stars for its entertainment value. Nice. Yes, I liked the vibe a lot. I mean, but I think that's, if I go by vibe, then I just never dislike a Darcy Coates because they're all, that's what she does best, is like,
yeah, her atmosphere.
Yeah.
So good. I don't understand her brain.
Well, even whenever we went to her event, like she is like constantly writing. She doesn't take breaks. She like has like 1,700 ideas and is just like chugging her way through all of them. Like, we're gonna get Darcy Coates books till she dies. And it's gonna be like 4 a year.
I have an arc of her YA one that I'm actually pretty interested in.
That sounds so freaking good, and I'm honestly really sad it's YA.
Me too. I was like, could I even request it? And I didn't, and they sent it to me. They were just like,
yeah, every time I request, like, I've been approved for every single one of her books.
Yeah.
So I need to review this one because I put it off. Don't steal my food. He's like, I don't care, I want to cuddle.
I almost said poop shoes. I was like, hey, poop shoes.
Wrong house.
I know. I'm like, what are you doing?
How did you get there?
I don't know what I was saying.
I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. I did not get approved for that arc, so I'm really sad because
I did my review yesterday on NetGalley, but not on Goodreads because I didn't want to see.
Where are you going?
Hello, welcome.
Don't expose yourself.
This is very predictable. You knew it was coming, and I thought the who of it was easy to guess, but it was the book I was in the mood for at the time. Another time, it would have been lower stars.
Yeah, I think like right now I'm not in the mood for thrillers. So like this really did nothing for me.
Not really. I've been in the mood for thrillers like more than horror recently.
No, I can't do it right now. I can't do anything besides rom-coms right now. I cannot do it.
Well, then you're welcome for the buddy reads.
Yeah, I'm having a great time buddy reading every single rom-com ever with Monica. So.
It's great. It's a really nice switch up from reading a lot of, because I feel like I'm reading both at the same time, and it's really nice to switch back and forth.
Yeah.
It can be a lot to read back-to-back thrillers and horror.
Yeah, I'm confused. The same thing with rom-coms, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't learn anyone's name in rom-coms.
For sure. Okay, so do we want to switch into the spoiler?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go.
So we're going to switch into spoilers. If you haven't read the book and you don't want to be spoiled, you might want to wait until you've read it to come back and watch this. If you don't care, then by all means, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Does anybody have any super pressing things they want to start with? Michelle seemed very eager to.
I just really liked, because I was not into this book at all. I was just like, I really don't care about this. I really, really, really don't care about this. Until it was like determined why they were all together. And then I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I was back. I was just like, okay, like I thought that was a good twist, because I was like, why is she telling me what happened 2 years ago? I mean, it's important to her like life story and everything, but like it kept coming around to that. And then when everything was connected with all the people, I was just like, this is good. Okay.
Yeah, I really liked that part. And I liked how even like, because Alexis was not directly connected,
right?
But it was still like, he was just so annoyed by her that he's like,
You're in. You're in this house.
It's like, well, if I'm already doing this for everyone else, you might as well jump on
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was really proud of myself because I figured it out so quickly, and like, well, not only like who it was, which I figured out almost in like the first or second chapter, but I also kind of figured out why they were there. I didn't know necessarily like who was who,
Yeah.
but figuring out like, because I knew, I was like, it has to be from him, and it has to be like some tie to what happened. Like I kind of like started linking things together super early, which I've been trying to not do because my brain naturally when I'm reading wants to be like, I have to figure this out before they reveal it. Like I have to figure it out. But I've been trying not to do that because sometimes it like ruins the fun.
It does. Yeah.
I've been trying like adamantly to not figure things out. And this one I was like, ah man, I figured it out so early. I'm proud, but
once it was revealed like why they were all together, then I figured it out because I was trying actively not to. Like ever since I spoiled myself with the silent patient, I don't do that anymore. I just coast. I just read. But then once it was revealed like why they were together, I was like, okay, I figured this out, and that's fine because I liked it so much. So for me, that was okay. And that's like 65% in the book is when everything was revealed. So I was like, coasting for most of the book, which I feel like was good.
Yeah. I'll pop back, grab these. I have the YA one too. Excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I really like the cover, and it doesn't sound like too YA, you know?
I feel like her content can't be like, like it can't, if it's gonna be a Darcy Coates, like it can't be too young because, well,
yeah, I'm interested to see. Like, I definitely want to read it before it comes out. So yeah.
I felt like if you combined And Then There Were None with Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah. I definitely got And Then There Were None vibes, like right off the bat. But also you're right with One by One with the snowy setting. Like I didn't even clock that one, but yeah.
Because like the constant threat of like frostbite and
the weather. Yeah.
Freezing, like I like how they're connected. I always try to figure them out.
I stopped doing that after I ruined the silent patient for myself. So
yeah.
Well, I had no time to think about it because I
waited until the last minute.
Well, yes, it's on purpose, but
I finished this yesterday. I was freaking out. I finished it like at 10 o'clock at night after my 2 naps.
I finished it in 2 days. But yeah, I think for me, like I figured out. So obviously we're in the spoiler. Like, so Kiernan being the like murderer. I like the first time she mentioned that, like, oh, he grew up around here, and I was like, well,
yeah.
So then he wouldn't be getting lost, like.
But then, like, she mentioned it a couple times, right? Like, she always brought it back. Like, when she found the ring, she was like, oh, he brought me back to the place where he's grown up and all this stuff. Like, it was always brought up, and I was just like, okay.
Can you imagine buying a ring that was probably very expensive just to put it in a pocket? Just in case she finds out. I was like, the commitment.
Right? And she was saying how like pretty and delicate it was. And I'm just like, oh.
It had to be fake. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he probably expected to not make it out. So he's like,
doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Anyway. That's true. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, we can also talk about like the heads on the tree. I mean, that was
I liked that.
Me too.
Fantastic.
That was
but
fun.
That was the other hint of like why the fact that like Brian's head was the first one to show up, but his body was never found.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Kiernan's body with his clothes, but like that the whole like when his body was found, and Michelle texted me, she's like, "Oh, they just found his body," and I was like, "Yeah, they found Brian's body already." Like, but yeah, that was the other, like, as soon as she found it and was like, oh, it's his jacket, and like that's the ring in his pocket, I was like, that's not him. There's no way that's him, because where's his head? Like, but the head's in the tree,
I thought like the descriptions were super gross. In a good way. Like I enjoyed, but I was just like, I know I was making this face. I couldn't help it. It was gross in a good way, but like, why is she so gross?
The only one that really got me was it was the like cabin people in the shed. That was the one that was like the most like,
I don't know. Kirian's body, where like the fingers were like.
I know. I was like, spaghetti.
That for me, that was super gross.
Hilarious. People don't go to the library all morning, and now they come, of course, because I'm on here. No,
I love you. They're like, Sherry is working. Gotta go see her.
I would come visit. I don't like YA contemporaries generally, but thriller horror YAs can really work. It's because I feel like there's a level, like a line that they, like you have to cross a certain line in order to be like a good thriller horror. And if you like skirt that line too much, like it's like hard to be horror and still be like YA appropriate, I guess. I don't know. I thought this was entertaining, but felt like it was just too much at the end.
That was my other thing why I gave it 3 stars, because I felt like nothing, or like not enough, or repetitive things were happening for so long. And then it was literally, because I was doing it on my Kindle, it was the last 20 minutes, everything happened. And I was just like, I wish this had happened like the whole book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I was watching my Kindle like count down, and I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I wish it were more spread out or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot in the last like 10 to 15%.
Yeah.
It's just like rapid fire, which I guess makes sense, but it was so different from the rest of the pacing, I think. Yeah, I guess it was him pretty early, but not that they were all connected.
I am a little confused about like his choice of certain people that he had there. Also, do you like my bug bites? Anyway, like Simone being there because she pulled his car out of the river was a bit, that one I was like,
like has he tried therapy? Because that might have helped.
I guess like, I mean, with the and there were none. There were a certain amount of people, but like that explanation,
better reasoning, or like maybe more people that were related to each other, and or like a bigger group that was related to each other. Like instead of it, I don't know. It just didn't. It felt like that specifically. I was like,
yeah, I agree with you.
Why?
But like everyone else pretty much made sense. But then
everyone else said it. It was just
like. And then was it Denny and his son? And I'm like, so you just killed a teenager? Because
I feel like if you're already mass killing people, you don't care about a teenager.
That was the only other one that was like, that kid genuinely was like, just because his dad.
I mean, well, so was the Brian. It was just because.
Yeah, he was the leader of the thing. Yeah, he was in the way.
Yeah, well, and he was needed to make his story seem like it was a real thing.
He had a goal, and he didn't care who had to die in order to complete that goal of wiping out anyone who had anything to do with.
Yeah.
And the hotel chase stuff felt like The Shining. Yes.
It did feel like The Shining. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole book, because it felt like I was in The Shining.
The only part that I was like, wait, she's like on the phone talking to the 911 operator, and I was like, how are you talking? And it's a silent house. Like, there's only you and one other person in here. How are you talking at any volume that he wouldn't have immediately heard you? Like, I understand it was big because it was like a lodge, but he didn't seem like he was that far away. So when she's talking, and like, it was a prolonged conversation between her and the operator, and I was like, where is he? Like, how has he not found her yet?
I think it had to do with the storm too, because like the whole time it was like really windy. So like a lot of things could not have happened in this book if it was not storming and windy, because like that is what drowned out a lot of the noise throughout the whole book.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Shining.
No, Sherry, we hadn't talked about that yet.
Yeah, completely fine. Also, we would just re-talk about it. It's fine.
Yeah, we don't care.
Sherry is researching books. Yes. It's this new book that we're going to get for the library. Yeah. Trying to think of what else. The one thing that did bother me, how many days were they there? Does any do we know actually?
At the end, it said a few days.
A few days. I want to know how, with no service, they managed
The
to have their phones not die in like 3 or 4 days. Until, and it said that what's his face was on but what's his name? Was on his phone like all the time. Like he just kept like staring at his phone. I'm like, then how did he have battery?
He had a brand new phone that had been used 3 times before that.
Right? Like, listen, it's 1:32 and I have my phone plugged in because it's a shitty phone and there's no battery. So
yeah, I feel like if you have your phone for more than a month, you have to charge it.
There's my phone was good for 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also for me personally, whenever it's cold, my phone dies faster. So like whenever she pulled her phone out of her luggage, whenever they finally got that, and she's like, "Oh, I have 75%." I was like, I would have had like 4.
Yeah, my phone wasn't turned on.
Kiara's eating my cord. I'll be right back.
But yeah, I definitely was like the phone thing.
Yeah. And then
go ahead.
When she gets to the lodge and she has like 4% left and she's able to make a whole ass phone call, and I'm like,
I know. And she also kept mentioning like, oh, the flashlight doesn't use that much battery. I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, you're joking, right?
Maybe Australian phones are different. I don't know.
And then when what's-his-face had used it for like, he was recording a video for like however many minutes, and then
and they watched the video.
Yeah.
How many times did they replay that with his like 1% battery?
Yeah, and they like slow it down several times.
Yeah. Also with the phone, I thought it was weird that like it was Blake who just stepped on the phone and cracked it that badly. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if I stepped on my phone, it would not shatter like it looked like someone did it on purpose. So that was a little odd. And I know that like
snow boots, like they are wearing like heavy. They'd be wearing.
Yeah, but also Blake was a small person. It wasn't like it was Denny who did it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I also did think that. I was like, yeah, maybe like a scratch, but like to crush it.
Yeah, not to like the point where it wouldn't turn on and you couldn't see anything on the screen. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
Someone bringing me zucchini bread. I want zucchini bread. I hope that you love that. That's lucky. Now I want zucchini bread. I'm just hungry in general. I got something to talk about. Oh boy. I loved when the dispatcher lady would just out of nowhere bring up some out-of-pocket, not a phone call story. True.
Yeah, that character was so weird to me.
Yes.
I'm like, all she's doing is complaining about her back, and then she'd be like, yeah, I'll just hang up on people if they annoyed me whenever they called. And I was like,
well, that explains why you're here.
To be
here. So true. But also like relatable, because I feel like I would also like in awkward situations when you don't know what else to say, like that would also be like, oh, this reminds me of the time that I took a call from a person who like, I don't know.
No, I would just sit there. I would
never talk. No.
You'd be journaling. You'd be symbol journaling in the corner.
I'd find a book somewhere.
Which also, can we talk about the symbol journaling and how much brain power that had to have taken?
Yeah.
Like, I get that she was a blogger, so I guess like like the true crime stuff was like her thing. But when she's like reading what Krista was reading the journal and she's like, what are these symbols? I'm like, I don't know how I would possibly have had the patience to like redraw symbols every time.
Yeah. Especially because like they were not really eating. They didn't have much food like to start, and then throughout the whole thing they like very quickly like ate all of their oatmeal. Like
yeah.
They were not thinking through like anything. They were just like, let's
no, which like I can't say that I would either because like I've never been in this situation. And I'm sure
we all turned feral on each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Carly brought up the sturgeon fish. There was like 3 pages in my Kindle of the sturgeon fish, and I was just like, this is a really weird description.
That's such a like detailed, like
so
I would have drawn the diva fish. Like that's it. Like,
but it's also like why if you are in a situation where people are being decapitated and stuck on trees, why would you be like, I know who it is? And instead of saying Steve, you say sturgeon.
Yeah.
Sturgeon.
Like what? I that was just like odd to me, and like I guess she was trying to be cryptic in case like
I guess
some like what if Steve heard and he was like, well, now you know, chopping everybody up, but
also he was like in the room, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So like if she had said it and they were all in the room together.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why would she just not say fish? Yeah. Because I would also have heard surgeon. Like, I would not have heard the word sturgeon and immediately went to, like, you're talking about a fish. Like, no.
Yeah. I only know what a sturgeon is because of Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing?
That's it.
You're not wrong.
Like, that's the reason that I know. If I had not played Animal Crossing, I would be so confused.
Mm-hmm. Plot conveniences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Katrina loved this one. This is her favorite Darcy Coates. Katrina, tell us your thoughts.
Katrina, if you're here, are you gonna read her YA?
Katrina. Hello, I'm at work and my internet sucks. Yeah,
it was
a very weird.
Yeah, her thought process too. She's like, "Oh, that's Blake because she wanted to chop off my fingers." Yeah. Like, how does what? I thought it was interesting that she literally did get frostbite though, and like, because I feel like typically
she like had no use of her hand.
Yeah, typically, like I feel like it would have just been like she would have been like, "Oh, my fingers are good." Not she, but like in pretty much any book. But yeah, I thought it was interesting, and I think it also made us believe our character, because like she could not, and like it was not her. So there was never. I mean, not that there would have been doubt without that, but like sometimes with unreliable narrators, like you never know. But this, like, I guess, was her being like, "It's not you."
Yeah, I am also glad because I feel like when that does happen and it doesn't end up like losing function of her hand, like it would have been like, oh, I regained my strength just in time to like grab onto something, and like that didn't happen. She's like, I have a club for a hand, like that's what I've got at this point. And
whenever she shoved that hand down his throat, that I forgot about that. I'm just like picturing this like dead black hand, like
disgusting.
Yeah, that one was good. That was good.
Her writing is like it's so gross.
Yeah,
but like I love it.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm just like picturing choking on fingers and then biting on it. And then them being like, I don't care, still wiggling your fingers around in your throat, like, no.
Spaghetti fingers?
Spaghetti fingers. That was disgusting.
lipstick, so I'll use a stick as the stick.
Why was that a thing? Like, just so that she could be lipstick in the notebook? Like, why was she always wearing that lipstick? Because it was brought up so many times.
It really was. Yeah, it must have just been for the notebook purpose. Or, like, I don't know if it's just, like, her way of, like, dealing with the, like...
People are murdered? Let me put on something.
Like, her like, normalcy. Like, trying to, like, regain... I don't know. That's the only other explanation I could possibly think of for any of that. Like, how gory it was. Of course you did.
Naturally. It was very gory.
Yeah.
And the locked room setup was cool. Yes. I'll read anything Darcy writes.
I was not laughing about that.
I wasn't expecting.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah.
This, is not her thing.
Mm-hmm. But they were very dead.
They were,
very
completely.
Very
Whenever the, like, I mean, I know every time it's kind of mentioned, but, like, the blood icicles, like, hanging from their necks, I was like,
yep. Yes, it was very descriptive. Gory.
Yeah.
Very much. Darcy has a tendency to pull her punches with characters not being dead or a very happy ending. So I was happy to get a body count.
Yeah, for real.
Mm-hmm. And it was a decent body count.
Yeah.
Only other Darcy I read was Gallows Hill. I liked this one more, but I think it's just that I prefer bloody.
Yeah.
This one was very bloody and gutty. She was wearing the lipstick because you gotta look good in case your head ends up on a stick.
Tree.
And like what? Hers was like one of the only ones that didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. I feel like if she was like running from Denny at this point, but if there's a body pointing you in a direction to go, I would be like, maybe I should not.
Yeah, I think no.
Right. But at that point, like, she just
didn't really have a
not
choice.
Be like sliced with an axe.
Yeah.
I also can't believe that he made the because it wasn't like a quick trek, but he went there every time he killed, and it was always like the middle of the night.
He's like, no, it's an easy hour and a half thing, and I'm like, what?
Every time you killed people, you did that. Like, that's insane. That's dedication. You could have just not. You could have just not. Too much effort. Tree. Yes, it's a tree. Although it was
like a stick on the tree.
On the tree. Also, I appreciated the detail that the stick came through their mouth. Like,
yes, I know.
Out their mouth. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. Don't follow the dead.
Yeah, that's especially if they're like in like a swimming position.
Like,
go this way.
Probably not a good idea, yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Finding Nemo when like the fish like get into their formation and like point the arrow to That's like kind of in my head. I'm like, I feel like this is not practical.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the timing of how that all happened. Like, how did he get her there after like the very quick rapid fire things that were happening towards the end? How did he get her positioned there?
Yeah. But also because he was also hunting Denny at the same time. Because Denny hunted her, but by the time they got to like that area, like he had already killed Denny, I guess. When did he kill Denny?
At the very end.
Yeah, it was the last.
Because he chops his head off and it rolls down
that's
as she's about to get out.
So Denny was the one in the house. Are you talking
about Hutch? Denny, Hutch, and Blake were in the house whenever she discovered Simone decapitated.
Right. No, so Denny did follow her all the way to the lodge.
Yes.
And he was the one following her until she came downstairs, and then he...
Yes, because he thought that she was the killer, and he was trying to, like, avenge his son. And then Kiernan was following Denny
Okay.
Who did not expect anyone to be following him, so
Because he thought he was following the killer.
Yes. So
Okay.
Denny was like going down the steps.
I forgot about Denny's head rolling down the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's just like about to exit and then hears like noises and then just sees
that's
Denny's
right.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. It's been a few days since I finished. I forgot.
I finished it this morning, so we're good.
Yeah, I finished
this is why I have to finish it today. If I would have finished it 2 days ago,
I did write down notes so I'd remember some of the like main stuff, but the Denny part, because in my head, I think when I was reading it, I was imagining that like he was killed before, like Kiernan was the one that followed her the whole way to the lodge, that like Denny was already dead. So then when his head rolled down the stairs, I was like, oh, he really was there. Like I didn't think he was there at all. So I think I just blocked that part out of my head. Oops. Did they ever say what the boyfriend's occupation was? Since the whole time they were like, it must have been a doctor or someone who can do clean cuts. Oh.
I don't know. I think the only mention was that he had quit his job to take care of his mom. But I think if you have a giant axe, you can probably get enough force to do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
With like his size and strength, like, yeah, I'm sure the axe contributed to that. The rolling head was a great scene.
It really was.
Just like bouncing. Like that's the like a typical like horror house kind of like vibe where something rolls down the steps. Yeah. Just in general, the decapitation was just a great scene.
Lot. Yeah, it was fun.
It was a lot of decapitation. And I liked that was when we met Darcy Coates, that was her like one spot. She's like, this is a spoiler, that's not really a spoiler, but like heads on trees. We're like, what?
Yeah, when I got to that first scene with Brian, I texted Monica and I was like, there's a dude in a tree. And she was like, oh yeah, Darcy told us that. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was one
warning. Actually, I think it's in my video. Like, I think I was recording at that point. And she talks about severed heads.
That's amazing.
Severed heads on trees or
so I put spoilers for Dead of Winter in my video, but she said it, so it's fine.
And it wasn't really like a spoil, like it wasn't a
no, it happens in chapter 8.
So and we knew.
Yeah, it literally happens on chapter 8, so that is not a spoiler.
I feel like spoils.
Yeah, I feel like anything
doesn't always kill everyone.
Yeah, the first 25% is not like spoilery. I usually tell everything and then I don't.
Yeah. So true. I also think it's funny, like looking at my notes to figure out other things that I had thought about when I read this in 2 days at like midnight, was the fact that everybody was acting super sketchy, even though like none of them were guilty. Like none of them from the original event, so like the car accident, like other than Krista being kind of guilty, like this chapter in the head.
It was very significant.
But like when they're like the car accident, like they're all like first on the scene or first responders or whatever, like they're not actually like guilty, and they have no idea that has to do with why they're there. But when they're all in this thing, they're all acting super suspicious, and like, why don't you just act like a normal person? And then like you wouldn't seem sketchy. Like if Blake was just not obnoxious and like creepy, then Krista probably wouldn't have cared. She would have been like, if she's just acting scared like a normal person would. But instead she's like, I have back problems and my lipstick is messed up and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the amount of times she was laying on the couch moaning, I was like, and then she's like, I can't do anything because my back hurts. And I'm like,
I can't go to the back hurts.
The thing is, I get it if your back hurts, but like at the same time, in a life or death situation, I think I would probably push through the pain.
Also, your neck's gonna hurt soon too. Like people are getting decapitated. Like, you want your back to hurt, or you want your neck to hurt? Because we have options.
Yeah, whenever, oh my gosh, whenever she found her and she was like, the position she's in. I wonder if her back hurts. And she's like, wait, it can't because she's dead. That was so funny.
It was so good. I just love, like, they're all super sketchy, and that was like part of them not having food because they ran out super quick. They're all like, give me, they're all like, if you just rationed a little bit, you might have made it a little longer. But
if you knew that there were 11 people and there was minimal food, would you take 2 of the energy bars?
I would not.
I don't think I would.
No.
I would not do it.
And she did
it. None of these people
proceeded to not do anything.
I know. I was like, you need the least amount of energy.
Yeah. Energy for what, ma'am?
I cannot believe that Krista was the one that went up on the roof. I'm like, how are you supposed to hold this signal thing with one hand?
That was when they're like going over like who's doing what, and then it came down to like her and Blake and like one other person. And she's like, well, I guess we know who's going up on the roof. And I was like, why do we know that? I'm confused. Like, why does it have to be you?
I was like, I would not put you there. But.
No, because she's like scrambling, like nearly falling off the roof because she has one hand, and
it should have been somebody that was tall, because they're like, we need to reach up as high as possible. So I'm like, why are you not sending like Hutch out?
Mm-hmm.
He's fine, and I'm sure Krista knows how to work a phone.
Yeah.
Because that was the reasoning for Hutch being there, was he was good with technology. And I'm like,
everyone in this day and age is like, I'm fucking old and I'm great with technology. Hello.
they both had phones. Like,
yeah, and it was Krista's phone.
Right.
So I was like,
I don't know. Point of she needs to be up on the roof so that she can see the lodge in the distance and nearly fall and die. But also the fact that she wouldn't let what's-his-face hold the ladder because she's like, I don't know if he's gonna. I'm like, you almost fell off the ladder before you even made it to the roof because you didn't want to trust him to hold it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know she's not tall?
I don't think she was as tall, and also the main issue is her hand.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of thought this like signal booster was at least big enough to want to hold it with 2 hands. I didn't think it was giant, but like.
But even then, like, she had to put it in her jacket because she couldn't climb and hold it. She only had one hand for grasping.
Mm-hmm.
The one hand injury came and went when it was convenient to interfere.
Yep. It's the same thing with like the whole cell phone thing. Like everything was like convenient when Darcy Coates said it would be. Like I was like, girlfriend.
Like he couldn't knock the ladder the second she turned her back.
Yeah. Yeah, but like a lot of my like complaints now, like it was just like something I noticed, but it didn't really impact like things.
It took me like a half second of like, what? Or okay. And then I moved on. I'm like, okay, well.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any other thoughts, points?
I think we talked about pretty much everything, because this one was kind of longer, but a lot of it was pretty repetitive.
Yeah.
If anybody else has other comments, I noticed it all, but because I wanted the fun quick read, I just rolled with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It was just a good time. Like for me, it was a good time. Good creepy time. I love the isolated thriller type thing. Like that was fantastic. So
Carly, I hate onions. Why did you eat onions? Onions are gross.
Did you do the thing?
I don't really remember. Onions. He had to have done the thing. We need it. We need to see it.
Sorry if you can hear Rowan. He wants to come in the library and Casman won't let him.
Oh.
So he's like, Mommy. And Casman's like, shut up.
That's cute though.
Yeah.
If I wasn't enjoying overall vibes, it would have bothered me a lot more. Truth. I think it's a fun winter horror.
Yeah. I think it's so funny that it came out for summer for us. Like, it's just...
Yeah, I was thinking about that because it came out in, like, her winter, but it's still set here.
Yeah.
So I was like...
It's very confusing because I don't know if she, like, wrote it. Like, did she actually write 911? Like, did she look at... Like, I don't know if it was rewritten or what.
Yeah, because she called a flashlight a torch a lot, and like
she said mobile, but like other things like 911 and stuff was changed, and I was like, what was changed? What was it? I'm trying to be a detective because she was like, my mobile isn't working, and I'm like, what? But you just called 911. We don't say that. Yeah, it was a good. I mean, I personally liked reading about winter horror in summer, so like I had a great time with that.
A fun winter horror for summer heat relief.
I had some ambiance up, because I could hear Adam yelling at his computer, so I turned. Because normally I'm up here, but I was in our bedroom, which I can hear him from there. Yeah, so I put on an ambiance to like drown him out. So let's see if I can. Yeah, you won't be able to see it very well. But it was like this.
Nice.
And it was like wind, like a storm.
Lisa Jewell literally talked at her book event with us. Like the moderator asked her a question, how they Americanize her books. And she's like, I don't really like to, but it's required in my contract. So I wonder if it's required in Darcy Coates' contract as well.
It's just like, because I don't think this could have been set in Australia. So like,
I mean,
it was just
no way.
I just feel like it was weird that they didn't change everything.
Yeah. Good question. Is it like Good Girl's Guide was rewritten to American?
And it's so dumb because like we can figure it out.
Yeah. It also like doesn't matter. Like I don't care if there's like little inconsistencies. Like it doesn't bother me because you're not American. Like
it's not something that like bothered me, but it's just like weird to change some things and not others. And that could be Darcy. It could be.
I swear it's a contract thing because that's what Lisa Jewell said. Lisa Jewell said it is written in her American contract that she has to rewrite to Americanize her books. Yeah, like we're not dumb. And she was like, Lisa Jewell was even saying, you're not dumb. So I don't know why they make me do this, but it's a legal requirement by my publisher. So I'm sure that's what happened with Darcy Coates as well.
Who's her publisher? I need to.
It's Simon & Schuster. It's Atria. Yeah. So
I hate us. It only matters when you're in immersion reading and the audio and print.
Yeah.
Because we had that happen with the Shadow House.
It did happen with the Shadow House because we were all doing it the same way and we were like confused.
What? Yeah, and also the Appeal.
Did happen with the Appeal.
Yeah. So weird.
It happens. It doesn't usually it doesn't really change anything, but then it's like certain words. What was it? It was like there was one that was like a stroller versus like I forget what they called it. Buggy or something. Was that the Shadow House, I think?
I think a stroller is a pram.
Yeah, a buggy is a cart.
Yeah. But like Lisa Jewell was like defending Americans. She was like, y'all, I don't need to change it for you. I know that you're smart. You can figure it out. And I'm like,
and the thing is, if you don't know that word, there's context clues and Google.
And also like I would prefer if they were not changed. Like, just have it be in that setting with that language, you know? But this one was confusing because it did take place in the Rocky Mountains, and then like some things were changed, and then some that was confusing.
Yeah,
I think it should match the setting. Like, if it takes place in America, then like, okay, I get why you'd want to have like the terms if everybody there is American, like you
Yeah.
want to have the terms be consistent. But like if it takes place in Europe or Australia, like I would actually prefer to read the terminology that
I
they would
agree.
be using. Like,
It's like, why don't they have faith that we can figure it out? Like, we're readers, we can figure out context clues. And
I read with accent sometimes, okay? If, like, if I know they're British, maybe I'll read their voice in a British accent.
Deb, I have the second Good Girls Guide to Murder in the British one. I got it from Book Depository when that was still a thing. So my American one is the first one, and then my second one is British. So, and I don't have the third one.
Why did it change that much? Like, that's so much.
They changed literally everything. Like, they moved it to Connecticut. They, like, but then there's some things where she's like, I'm going to phone Ravi. And I'm like, we don't say that. Like, change the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's stupid. Like, I wish they would not Americanize stuff. Like, just keep it. Especially if you're not going to Americanize the audiobook, so they don't even match.
Yeah.
The movie Talk to Me is directed by Americans, but it's super awesome.
Oh, interesting.
I love that. They even got a cold winter there. The area I'm moving to is still 60 degrees this time.
Yeah, I was like, maybe, well, until they said the Rockies, I was like, maybe there's like one mountain that they can go to that has snow, but I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, because then when I was trying to figure out if we were in Australia or if we were somewhere else, and then she was like, I'm calling 911, and I was like, okay. Like, that was
And then I said, we're in the Rocky Mountains. You're like, oh.
Okay. But then here's my torch, and here's my phone.
Yeah.
Just popping back into this. I didn't finish. Had to DNF.
I DNF onions all the time. It's gross.
Disappointed.
Onions are the like only thing I won't eat, and besides meat, but you know.
Well, I cannot wait to witness the monstrosity that will be you eating this onion. I just am excited. Cooked onions, I'm fine, but no to raw.
No, can't do any onions. Disgusting.
I love onions.
Oh,
onions too. And everything.
They're so smelly. I can't.
Yeah. That was garlic.
Yeah, I don't love smelling like onion all the time, but like I don't like I'd like as much onion as I would like a burger. Neighbors did walk by.
Did they saw everything?
Everything?
Like everything?
Everything? That's, I mean, did you go to a park or did you?
Yeah, I need a screenshot.
Did you go to in public or were you at home?
Send me a picture. I have a lot of questions.
I have a lot of questions.
So many questions. Does anybody have anything else to say? Any other thoughts? Generally, I enjoyed it. I definitely between 4 and 5 stars. I like lean towards 5. If I think too critically, it's obviously like I can knock it down. But like, I had a good time, and I read it a lot. I read it really fast.
I read it a lot.
I read a lot.
I read a lot at a time, which is a lot for me. So I ended up doing it in my backyard, but it's pretty open, and we have a public path right down the side. Best of both worlds. Now you will forever be known in your neighborhood for what you have done.
What you did.
Maybe this wasn't the right time.
Were you
hilarious?
Were you in costume?
I hope so.
I know.
book suffers with too much critical thinking.
Honestly, I feel like most books do.
Yeah. That's why I try not to do that.
Yeah, I don't think.
I do not think. There's just vibes.
Yeah.
I try to not think. I was.
Good.
When do we get to see this?
As you should.
Your neighbors are going to talk about you so much that you'll have to move to Australia.
Bye. Let us know if it gets cold.
It's absolutely iconic that way. Dressed up like a green onion.
I'll hear
it. I missed all the onion parts. Was Carly being Shrek? Well, she certainly did not eat the whole onion, so I don't even know what else to say about this. Carly, when is there a video and when? I feel like that's what we need to know at this point, is when we can witness. Do you guys have anything that you want to plug? Carly clearly doesn't, because she's never making a video ever again. Anything recent or upcoming for you guys?
I had a video go out yesterday. It's not doing well. If you could just even if you just click on it, that would be great.
I just had a video go out and I'm losing subscribers.
Yeah. I'm not having a good time. Listen, the thing is, I knew that this one probably wouldn't do well, but it's doing even worse than I thought it would. So please just click on it one time. That would be good.
Yeah. That's how just recently things are not going well.
Yikes.
I'm getting close to 3K, but maybe not.
I don't even care about my subscriber count. My videos themselves just aren't doing it. And I know it's summer, and that's how it is every single summer, and we complain about this every single summer, but it's still disheartening, But
it really sucks when you put a video out where you love books.
I loved yes.
my video for the National Book Festival, I read one of my favorite books of the year, and it is not
yeah.
So it's just
bummer.
I haven't liked a lot of books recently, and now I do, and no one's watching.
Yep, it really sucks.
Rude. So everybody go watch recent videos from Lexi and Michelle, because why wouldn't you?
What'd you say?
From Carly? Please tell me you got it.
No. Oh wait, why is my phone on Do Not Disturb?
Oh my.
Carly, you're my hero.
I'm saving this forever.
Okay, I was not expecting that.
My hero.
Not what I had pictured.
I was picturing just green. Not.
This is the best thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Oh.
You win awards.
I am kind of upset you didn't paint your ankles.
Look at that.
Nothing's ever good enough for you. The banner is killing me.
And the whole background is green too.
I know. Did you clip that on the plant?
No, it's definitely clipped on a plant, right?
Also, if you look behind where her body is, you can see that she's just covering up the image of him on the actual.
Oh, yeah.
You can honestly just Photoshop it. Just Photoshop it. It's clipped on chairs. I thought it was clipped on this plant. Man.
I'm crying. This was dedication, and honestly, Carly, you deserve the world for it.
Ooh. I was really hoping we all got this picture.
Yeah, I keep somehow putting my phone on Do Not Disturb and not realizing it.
I put my phone on Do Not Disturb every Sunday. I never talk to anyone.
See, I am like one of the fancy people.
And Monica got into the fancy people now too. It's you, Monica, my mom, and Castleman.
Look at us go.
For the 11 fun people here, this is what we are dying about.
That's so funny.
A sneaky peek.
Oh my god.
Carly, our Shrek hero. I'm really disappointed that you didn't finish The Onion. You went so hard on that whole getup and then didn't finish The Onion.
Yep.
Deb loves it. I'm so honored that we get to reveal it.
I know.
People walk their dog past me like 10 feet away. Was the dog afraid of you? That's the real question.
So funny. It was just so gross.
I wonder, like, if there's like a seasoning, like anything you can put on an onion to make eating it plain, just like that. Like, is there a seasoning that you can put on an onion to bite into it and not have it be revolting? At least you have onion left for your next painted ankle attempt. The dog did bark and I walked inside. I'm also just imagining you like slumping and like walking like the like embarrassed, like dejected Shrek walk back inside. So spicy. I should have gone with a red onion. I feel like that would have been worse.
Yes.
Red onion would have been worse, I think. A lot of hot sauce. Kill the taste buds. True. Well, I think
we ended that on a great note.
I think yeah. As much as I love talking about Shrek Carly and her onion eating disaster, I think that's all we've got. So I think we can wrap this up. But everybody's going to look forward to Carly's video that she's definitely going to post after all of that effort. Anything else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else now that my brain has been like...
Nope.
My brain went to like Shrek and onions, and now I feel like I can't think of anything. Thanks for joining. Thanks for reading. If you did read the book, if you didn't, I hope we inspired you to read it, even though some people didn't love it as much.
I'm still looking for a 5-star book club book.
We're gonna do it.
I have not
We're
had
gonna
one.
find one. We will get one. But thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time for Ascension and Amy. So, bye.